The young man was traveling by car through an uninhabited area when he came across a stray Tibetan Mastiff. Little did he know, this encounter would change his trip completely. The next morning, he woke up to find the Tibetan Mastiff restless and running around. The young man started to suspect that something was unusual. Was she about to give birth? This realization hit him hard. It was supposed to be a carefree adventure, but fate had other plans. It all began when the young man was exploring the remote wilderness of Kekexalai. As he set up camp, heavy snow began to fall, blanketing the landscape. Out of nowhere, a Tibetan Mastiff appeared outside his tent. The poor dog was lying in the snow, shivering uncontrollably. Her eyes pleaded for help, and the young man couldn't ignore her suffering. He was moved by her pitiful state, and despite being unprepared for such an encounter, he decided to take her in for the night. The next morning, he took the Tibetan Mastiff to a nearby pet hospital for a checkup. The doctor made a surprising discovery. She was pregnant with 6 puppies and would give birth in the next 2 or 3 days. It turned out that the dog had braved the harsh conditions to find shelter, not just for herself, but for her unborn puppies. Her maternal instinct had driven her to seek help from a human, and the young man was deeply touched by her courage and love for her unborn children. However, this posed a challenge for the young man. To the young man's astonishment, she had brought back a male Tibetan Mastiff. Was this the father of the puppies? Without hesitation, the mother dog entered the nest and began feeding her hungry puppies. The young man couldn't help but notice her exhaustion, but chose not to scold her. The Tibetan Mastiff gave birth to 6 adorable puppies. The young man stayed up all night to assist and make sure both the mother and her newborns were safe. As he watched over them, he felt a sense of joy and fulfillment. The birth of the puppies was nothing short of a miracle in the harsh wilderness, but his happiness was short-lived. The following morning, the young man discovered that the mother dog had disappeared. At first, he thought she might have gone out for a walk, but as hours passed, she didn't return. The 6 tiny puppies were crying in hunger, and the young man grew increasingly anxious. Could the mother have abandoned her own children? For more than 20 hours, the young man stayed by the puppy's side, unsure of what to do. In the uninhabited area, there were no stores, no resources, and no way to feed the newborns. Just as he was starting to lose hope, the mother dog returned this time. She wasn't alone. To the young man's astonishment, she had brought back a man